My name is Ryan Alessio. I work at ESPN Youngstown, which is a Cumulus station, and I've been working here for about 7 years. ESPN 1240 and online at WBBW.com. Ryan and Ellis here. I started here in 2004. I started working at Rock 104. That was the first station I worked at. I did the morning show there for a few years, moved to afternoons, then nights, and then was moved over to the ESPN station, which I like a little better because I feel I know more about sports than most things. How I got started here at Cumulus was basically by total luck. I had a friend who got called in to do a contest on Rock 104 when it just started, and I knew that I wanted to get into the radio business. I was going to school for it at the time at Slippery Rock, and I basically just wanted to get myself inside of a radio station. And I came with her, and she did this contest on the air, and while she did that, I walked around the building and basically talked to as many people as I walked by until I finagled an internship with the place. And then from there on, I basically went above and beyond, I guess, what it took to be an intern and never quit and never left. While I'm on ESPN, I co-host the afternoon show from 4 to 6 with my friend Christian, who is the program director. Our job is basically to provide insight on the local level of the local sports teams like Cleveland teams, Pittsburgh teams, YSU sports, football, basketball. Also, we cover a lot of high schools in the area. We broadcast high school games on Friday. 30% chance of rain, though. Not too bad with the winds either, so it should be a good night for football in mid-October. We decide on which games we're going to broadcast usually a couple months in advance once the schedule comes out. Us and the other radio stations basically fight, I guess you could say, over the games we're going to air, but we know a couple months ahead of time which games we're going to air. Chester Chicken, man, he's doing his job. Things I have to do include coming up for material on air, show prep. I do a lot of production work where I have to produce commercials, do voiceovers. I also do a lot of remote work where we go out on location for certain things. Saturdays we do stuff for football games. Sometimes I'll do events for other radio stations if they're shorthanded, such as Rock 104, which I mentioned I worked at earlier. Right now I'm a student at YSU as well because I want to further my education so I can someday do something more than just work in Youngstown. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know, it's good to have aspirations outside of the city. It's not always as fun as it sounds because I think a lot of people think that, you know, it's a job where, okay, how hard can it be? All you have to do is get on and talk for 2 hours about sports, something you like, and then you go home. Well, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work you have to do, like I mentioned, production, dealing with sales staff, dealing with other people, especially advertisers, who basically keep you employed, so you got to keep them happy. You got to do a lot of in-studio work, a lot of editing, a lot of audio work. So just because you hear a person on the radio for 2 hours doesn't mean that's all they do. So there's actually a lot more responsibilities behind the scenes, and as you know, as the business kind of shrinks, as stations and whether it's TV or radio, they figure out they can do just the same amount of work with less people. Well, that's when you get more work and your title, other than just maybe on air or board up, expands into just who knows what, general employee. So I do a little bit of everything here at Cumulus. A lot of people say that there's not too much work in this field because of the employee reduction that a lot of companies do, but if you're good at what you do and you can convince and show that there is a reason that a market or a station or a TV station needs you, then you can find work. It's all, you just want to make sure there's something about you that separates yourself from the rest of the pack, because anybody can be a line reader, I think, and anybody can follow scripts or edit something, but if you really want to be on camera or you really want to be on the radio, you got to make yourself a little different than everybody else and find your hook, and that will keep you employed. If not where you're at currently, it'll give a place a reason to hire you when usually they're not looking to hire. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. It's ESPN 1240.